Today's show is brought to you by Win the Race, the NASCAR strategy platform built for fans who want more than picks. From 200,000 race simulations and pro-level DFS tools to advanced driver and track analytics, Win the Race helps you think like a race strategist, not a spectator. Learn more at wintherace.info.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 53 of the draft. 53. It's been fun. It's been a great ride. We're just coming off the Coke 600 weekend, Indy 500 weekend, had trucks, had O'Reilly, had it all. Had it all. Didn't have all the laps, but we had it all in other ways. So pretty fun weekend, all things considered. I mean, we'd be the elephant in the room. I mean, Kyle Busch was one of my favorite NASCAR drivers ever. I mean, when I met my wife, and she knew like that I was into NASCAR. One, like I'm surprised she stayed with me, but two, I was like she knew right off the bat who my guy was, even though I wasn't out there like repping all the gear and talking crap to other people about it. She just could just tell who I liked when I was watching a racer. When I was talking about the sport to other people, who I was talking about, and it always came back to him. Back when I met her, she actually bought me. That's the first diecast she ever bought me. Right there was the M&M's KFB up there. I got kind of a glare on it right now. Let me pull it down later. But yeah, he'll always hold a special place in my heart. And it's when people ask, it's not like they're poo-pooing other deaths at all, but they're asking, why is this one so big for the sport? Like what is it? And I think, well, when you start to name like the dudes, like you obviously have Dale, you have like Richard Petty, you have people like that. In like the later years, Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, guys like that. Like you have to, if you had a Mount Rushmore, people could argue that Kyle Busch needs to be on it for all the things that he's done and all the wins that he has. So that's kind of how I explain it to them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like dude was awesome. He was the shit." Yes, he was. So very very sad weekend. As far as that goes, obviously. I'll kick it. Tino, you got anything to say about KFB? We'll just say our piece and then get on with tonight's show.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate you doing that and giving us, the opportunity just to touch on it a little bit because I feel the same exact way. When you think of NASCAR, at least people that didn't know NASCAR, when I talked to them, they knew Dale Earnhardt, they knew Kyle Busch. And I think that just goes to show he was larger than life in the sense that Denny Hamlin mentioned that as well. I thought that was a good way of putting it. To me, he was inspiring because he was always himself. And we got to see him grow and mature and become a race team owner, a father, a husband, just all those things that later on in his career, he was still rowdy, but he became someone that you can kind of relate to a little bit more on and off the track, posting silly videos with his daughter, and then obviously everything he's done for Brexton. So to me, just really inspiring. And the other thing I'll throw out there too is like how many professional athletes have a nation, a fan base that's rowdy nation. So to see them, hurting, obviously it hurts, but I'm very fortunate to have witnessed him, his career, everything he's done for the sport, and look forward to continuing to honor him and hopefully, just as time goes on, heal a little bit more, but ultimately, a legend like that will never die.
Yeah, well said, man. How about you, Phil?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything you guys have been saying, everything that the folks, on the broadcast have been saying about him. I'll say this, something about, not being able to finish writing your legacy. I think it actually kind of works out in a way where that almost propels him to like higher than if he did stick around and finish his full career, because that mystique is there. You never know what would have happened. Someone to leave the earth in the middle of competing still is rare in sports. And we saw it with Earnhardt. Now we see it with Busch, two guys that are clearly, we're seeing in the chat, like Mount Rushmore level. I said it, on my show, like I've got texts from friends. He transcended all sports. Like everybody knew him. He was a household name. It doesn't matter if you're an NASCAR fan or not. And what's the saddest part to me is like he doesn't get to see that, and all these kind words that everyone's had to say about him. He doesn't get to see that. And to me, in these types of situations, it's just the only thing you can do is, obviously pay respects like everyone's been doing, but try to like take a lesson from all of this. It's like tell people, how you feel about them. You know what I mean? Like tell everyone in your life, like, hey, that that really meant a lot to me, or whatever, while you can, because you're seeing so many, everybody, it seems like in the garage has something nice to say about it. It's sad on top of everything with Brexton and Samantha and seeing all that stuff, the emotion of death. But what's even more sad is that he never got a chance to, hear that. And that, is where, I think the normal folks like us can kind of take that and run with it in our lives. So RIP, we'll be talking about him, I'm sure, for a while.
Yeah, that was a great point too, because like my friends, first of all, I'm 41 years old. Kyle Busch, 41 years old. So my friends are in that age bracket as well. So it's like these are friends that make fun of me for watching NASCAR. They don't care about it, but then they're texting me saying like, "Holy shit!" Like, "Oh my god!" And so it's like you said, Kyle Busch will never know the kind of impact that he had like that. But it just bigger than the sport. Um, you know, and like you said, like speak up, people let people know how you feel. Well, how about doing that just like Kyle Busch did? Like he sparked change throughout NASCAR for the better always, and like always let even his employer know how he felt or his peers know how he felt. And so speak your mind. I mean, you'll be remembered like Kyle Busch as opposed to just, if you just tuck your tail and never say a word, who's going to remember you. I don't know. But I think that's one thing that's really cool about Kyle Busch. Like he is a legend. So like he's a dude. Hall of Famer, awesome guy. So
And you look at all the guys in the Cup Series, but also all throughout the 3 series in NASCAR, a lot of them came through the KBM pipeline. I mean, just the Byron, Bell, Bubba, and the list goes on. Gillen, Herbst, so many. Nemechek, it's like so cool to see that, like it's just awesome that he had an impact not only with his own career and the wins and the 234 across all 3 series, but it's touching those, and those generations to come. That's the part that, as you guys have said, it's like really inspiring to see that. And like you said, Phil said it really well. Like, let's give people their flowers when they're here. Like, let's respect them. And obviously he's going to have haters like he did and everything like that. But like everyone loved to hate him. Everyone loved to watch him. So entertaining. And it's just such a sad thing to see it after the fact a little bit.
yeah, even his haters are thanking him, So like
Right.
it was nice to have someone to hate. Like you don't want everyone out there just dead behind the eyes. So it's like
Batman needs a Joker. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you can't have one without the other.
Yeah. So even for them, he made the sport more fun. Brexton's going to have no problem getting a fan base when he comes up. I mean, that's going to be his first race is going to be absolutely insane, electric. So I don't know. That'll be a cool something to look forward to in the future. We'll end it on a happy note there. The race itself, Coke 600. We'll go back to that. Daniel Suarez. You know, was I happy about not running all the laps at the end? No. But am I going to blame Daniel Suarez for it? No. I mean, the dude he took what was given to him and made the absolute most of it. If people aren't watching the Eric Estep videos where he interviews the winner every single week, I highly encourage you to go watch that and listen to Daniel Suarez talk and how smart he was at the end of that race and the runs that he was making and the blocks that he was making, and just kind of how aware he is of where both those guys were stalking behind him on both those restarts. Just kind of cool to hear. Was he going to get past? Yeah, he says that. He knows that. He knows he got lucky a couple times, but until that point, he was racing his ass off. So, is what it is. Good strategy call. Bets last weekend were good. Hit Riggs. I mean, that was fortunate. They didn't start that. He might have won anyways, but we'll never know. But at least something, went our way at the end of a race there. O'Reilly, that was what was that? I mean, I don't know how you can run that many laps under caution. They should be ashamed of themselves. And then the Cup Series that happened. But as far as the racing goes in the Cup Series, what a fun race! I thought that race was awesome. like battles for the lead all night, people passing, runs were made. Like it was just a good fun time. We spent, we're already 10 minutes in, so I'll just get into how the draft ended here. Big draft for me, and not bad scores by you guys. Kegger, if you're listening, Keg, I'm sorry. I didn't put your score up here. It was not great. There was a lot of ones on there. But
no.
it was a good first effort. And Keg will be back, I know, for a playoff race. So he's gonna try and get his revenge on us then. And then this week, of course, had to donate to Kyle and Samantha's charity, as the winner of the draft this week. And little clean up here. And Phil, you had donated from Watkins Glen. I don't think we ever went over that, but SVG's charity. I think they're finding a cure for spinal cord injuries. Great cause. We did that for Watkins Glen, and so yeah, just wanted to mention that as well. If anyone found their way to either one of those charities, do what you can. All right, that's it. Do you guys want to say anything about the Coke 600? Sorry, I was just rambling there, but. Anything else to add? Tina, I'll kick it to you.
The only thing I'll say is, like you said, great race, great racing, throughout. I thought that was very apparent. The Toyotas, as we knew, were going to be fast. And that made me feel good that I knew what I was talking about to that extent. Because I was like, really, who's going to beat them? And then obviously at the end, we saw the two tires. You gave Daniel Suarez credit, rightfully so, for holding on. And I do the same thing there. Sucks. Really sucks we couldn't get that last portion, just because, not because of him winning, because I wanted to see that racing that we were having right before it rained. And
the Bell and Hamlin battle, and then Reddick storming in too out of nowhere sometimes, that was awesome.
Exactly. Couldn't have said any better myself. And then the one last thing I'll throw in there was that one guy who was in the mix of all those Toyotas, SVG. Hey, SVG. Come on, that was just really cool to see. He was ripping, and it wasn't even like he knew what he was doing. I saw him going high on Reddick. I'm like, man, this rocks. So I really appreciate him for just putting on a good performance.
Greg and I ran practice, and then DM'd each other in Discord and said, "Is something wrong here?" Because SVG was up with the big boys, and we're like, "No, we didn't ding him. We don't like editing stuff after the fact. We like to trust what we do." And man, he was even leaving him up there though. Like when we did our DFS and stuff like that, we were too low on him because we were too low early week. But man, that car showed up fast. Trackhouse is showing some speed now too, dating back to the Connor Zilic at Dover as well. And we enter another concrete track this week. Phil, what'd you think of the Coke 600?
Yeah, I thought it was a great situation. If you had a video on my basement, because the Toyotas are who I was cheering for. It cost me a little bit of money. It made me have fun cheering for them during the race because I knew that they were fast and it was fun cheering for them and having money on it. And I was pissed that that Suarez won right in the moment. So I'm throwing my hat and drunk, but you come up for air and you're like, hey, this is actually really cool. And that is what makes betting on NASCAR fun to me, is you can have a little fun watching the race. Good winner, a good situation. I thought he was a good steward too of the Kyle Busch situation at the end in the press conference and on Prime. So everything is what is great about NASCAR in that situation. The one thing that was not touched on, obviously the weather didn't get NASCAR any favors, but the truck race, what were they doing with that? Setting them on a time limit. That put me in such a bad mindset with the O'Reilly and then the trucks. So when they did the lightning rule change, I was cursing them up and down, F this, these guys they don't know what they're doing. Change, but it worked out. Everything worked out for the Coke 600 in the end, other than just not being able to run the full length. So I think we can all be very happy the Roval is gone, because I'm looking forward to seeing that track in the chase.
Yeah. Are we gonna have a longer final stage in that fall race than we did for the Coke 600? I think we are.
Probably, yeah, because I think it'll be a typical mile and a half,
80, and then over 100 for the last
115, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a world. What a world.
Before we
And
moved
I'm
on,
winning the FanDuel
oh my God.
contest.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. No,
I'm
you
winning
go,
the
you go.
FanDuel contest for $7,000 when they do the lightning delay. And so, I'm like, all right, got a little lucky with Lane Riggs to start the week. Like, no way in hell they're gonna just do the 30-minute clock, rain comes, cash out, and go home. Nope, not even close. I think I won like $150 or something like that in the
Oh
tournament.
my
But
God.
it is what it is. I'd run so cold at the end of those races, but I was happy to get the Lane Riggs luck box. So I'll take that. However, he could have won anyways, but I'll take what I can, is what it is. What'd you pull up there, Timo?
The funniest comment of the night so far, and there's a bunch which we'll get to. Brian is shocked that NASCAR didn't penalize Suarez for not cutting Bell or Hamlin any slack. Brian sent that tweet that said that in our chat earlier today, and I couldn't believe that's a real thing. Like, that's insane. Yeah. So perfect comment.
It's
here
in like the NASCAR. That's got to be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame or their own Mount Rushmore of just dumb things to say out loud. Like, you can't say that out loud. Your fans cannot read that.
Did the Hauler Talk guys have a podcast yet? Because I'm going to hate listen the shit out of that episode. Yeah. I cannot wait.
Awesome. Well, all right. So let's just stay on this subject real quick, and it's going to lead us right into our track preview for Nashville. One thing that I noticed, and I just think it's a little odd, but hey, maybe it'll work. It's been good. These races have been good with this tire, but I did think it was a little odd. You come to a concrete track, and then NASCAR has another quote, Goodyear in NASCAR in the tire notes, like, oh, I wanted to really bring a tire, that lays rubber on the concrete. And then they list all the tracks that aren't concrete that we raced on with this tire. So it's like, then how do you know what it's going to do? Like, no one knows until Saturday. So why would you even say that? I don't know. I just thought that was kind of weird. I can understand the argument of, well, the racing's not like Martinsville or Dover or Bristol. Fine. Okay. But like, can't take anything from that. I don't know. It's concrete. We're going to a concrete track. And if we have all our comp track data on Win the Race, which takes into account the banking, their average speed, the length of the track, the average tire wear we normally see there, things like that, just the fall off. And none of those tracks really compare to it. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anyone knows what's going to happen until Saturday, but that leads us into our race preview. Phil, Nashville's a tough one. What can we expect?
It is a tough one. And, we don't have a lot of data even to pull from at Nashville. They started coming here back in 2021. So that's 5 races. Only 4 of them, though, are in the next gen car. And as you said, kind of right now and in our text chat, I thought you said it perfectly in our text thread. We've got a concrete track. It's not flat. It's not really banked. It's 750 horsepower. We haven't seen a track like this in the season yet. So because of that, it's going to be a very difficult track to comp. And we haven't been to a track, according to Win the Race's track comparison tool, we haven't been to one of those like top tracks yet this year. So it's going to make it a very difficult deal. This is a 1.33 mile track. The turns are around 14 degrees straight and backstretch are about 9 and 6 degrees. The weekend schedule, little important to know. 3:30 on Saturday, practice and qualifying, but the race is a rare nighttime Sunday night race, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. Kind of excited for it. It's kind of like Sunday night football type vibe.
Yeah.
Stages, we got 90 in stage 1, 95 in stage 2, and 115 in stage 3. So that's a total of 300 laps total. And as you mentioned, the tires are same as what we ran last week, as well as 5 other places this year, just not the same style. In the 5 races, we've had the winner come from the pole one time. It was Chastain in 2023. Winner has started inside the top 5 and top 10 3 of the 5 times. And Logano started outside of the top 20 in 2024. Manufacturer trends, Toyota's hot right now. They're the favorite, but they haven't won here. Chevy's won the first 3. Ford has won the next 2 races. So that's what I got for you here in the Nashville preview.
Absolutely love it. We have touched on everything Nashville. I am excited because of everything we just said to dive right into this. So if you're new to the show, we're going to select one driver from the teams that you see on the top there, plus one bonus driver from any team, even if they're not listed there, and they'll earn 1.25x their points. We'll use real NASCAR scoring, and the winner each week will pick a charity of their choice and win the race. Will donate to that. Leaderboard's up 5 for Ryan, 5 for Tino, 3 for Phil. So it's a tight race so far, guys. It's going well. We'll keep this, running leaderboard up for the rest of the year here. Let's dive into 2311 Toyota team. Tino, I'm going to let you kick it off here because before the show, you had mentioned one of these guys, and I have a feeling you're going to go there, but I want to hear more about what you think about 2311. I think both could be good to great here. So what do you got?
Definitely appreciate that. The guy I mentioned before is the one I'm going with now, and that's Tyler Reddick here. When you go to the Sim Center at Win the Race, to me, I'm not super surprised to see Tyler Reddick up at the top to where he is. A 17.2%, one of the favorites to win this race, as I'm sure he is on most sports books as well. He's been up front here racing, at Nashville consistently throughout the past few years. And not only do I take that account, and he will maybe not a race winning car, but like 3 to 5 to 8. Like he's always been in that range here. And to me, he always kind of presents a little bit of value from that standpoint, because I don't feel like people are going to say, oh, Tyler Reddick on a shorter type track, if you even want to say that's what this is. So I look at him being fast at Dover. I look at him being fast at Bristol, like those more unique tracks to where you wouldn't expect Tyler Reddick, because it's not an intermediate where he rips the fence and stuff like that. To me, I think this is a spot where he can go out and get the win because of the speed that they've had this year, which just seems to be more than most.
Muted, bud.
Oh, muted. 2 weeks in a row for you.
I know, dude. What is? I'm getting old. All right. I'm glad that you said that about Bristol. I had that written down just because, like you, it's a place where I wouldn't necessarily expect him to be, good to great there, and he was. And it's like that a lot of places this year. And that also has, the added horsepower this year, which I like to see. Concrete track, even though Bristol's not really like Nashville, but also good to see. And then you just look at his Nashville history. His first run here with 2311, he finished 30th, but he ran almost half his laps inside the top 5 that race. Then 2 years ago, ran over half his laps inside the top 5, finished 3rd. And then last year, top 10 finish here again. So I just like the consistency, and then you bring that 2026 momentum into this. So I went with Reddick over Bubba, but I am also not surprised if Bubba finishes top 10 this weekend. So curious to see where Phil goes here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Bubba Wallace.
Nice.
And I was looking at the Sims, and this is a good test for me to see, if I could try to put a little bit of my own spin on it, or if the Sims are just so good, I got to trust them. But I'm looking at it, and I understand everything you guys are saying. I'm a little nervous about this pick, to be quite honest with you. I don't like going against Tyler because of this year just being different in so many different ways. But looking at it at this racetrack, Bubba Wallace, pretty solid. I have him for a top 10, as you mentioned. You think that he could sneak in there. I mean, top 10 numbers around plus 130 on Bet365. That seems to be fair. It's got 2 top 10s in the next gen car, and both of them came in the last 2 starts at Nashville, 6th and 7th. So that's what we want to see. He wasn't running in the top 10 in those races. He kind of found his way into it, but I'm fine with that. He's 7th in average finish in NASCAR at this track in the next gen, 10th in driver rating. We'll take that. He's ahead of Reddick in those stats. So I'm fine with that. And then the comp tracks. Now, the comp tracks that I'm looking at are the ones that win the race call out. So it's Iowa, New Hampshire. Let me pull that back up. Sorry, I should have had this ready to go. Gateway, and Phoenix and Nashville. So I'm looking at Phoenix from this year and then all of those other races last year. So that's 5 total. And when you do that, he's 4 for 5 finishing inside the top 10. 5th in average finish, 8th in driver rating. New Hampshire was the only one where he shit the bed, but finished 6th at Phoenix this year. So 4 for 5, top 10, not bad. And, we'll see. I mean, he's better than Reddick in all of those stats. Now, again, it's most of last year's numbers for Reddick. Whereas this year, obviously, we've established he's a different beast, but I'm willing to take that risk here. I'm down by 2. Got to be a little different off the bat.
Yeah, I love that. I honestly, like, I toyed with the idea. Some other teams I thought were stronger, but toyed with the idea of taking both 23-11 guys tonight. One in the bonus, one here. Um, we'll see. It's still not over. See where I go. All right, let's go to a forward team here, front row. I'm going to leave this one off because my pick never really changes here anymore. I'm just Zane Smith all the way, all the time here. Um, it's just been working for me here, with this team. This team is just bad. In this package in 2026, he started 10 spots higher than his teammates on average. And this week he gets to go out in qualifying way later than them again. So I expect him to just start with that track position. He doesn't always hold it, but at least he'll be running there, to start. So I'm hoping that he can qualify better than them and run ahead of his teammates here. And he's getting finishes at Nashville, regardless of how it happens. A couple years ago, you have all those late restarts, whatever it was. I think he finishes like second. And then last year, starts in like the late 20s and works his way up for a finish in the teens. So I just like what I'm seeing on his Zane here. Feels pretty comfortable at this track, it seems, and at least can survive to the end to see what strategy brings his way. And then just looking at him compared to his teammates, I don't know. There's not much to say good about any of them. So give me Zane Smith here. I'll stick with what's working. Phil, I'll kick it back to you.
Yeah, Zane Smith. I can't play around with this one. Pretty simplistic for me. I mean, second place finish in 2024. There's nobody on this team doing that this year. And then with front row last year in the 38 to 13th place finish, you finish 13th, you're winning this group by a lot. So that's all I really need to see. And you hit on most of the other topics here.
Perfect. Tino, what do you got?
You can make it a clean sweep. The second place finish may have been a little lucky, like we said, fuel mileage wise, but then to get a 13th last year just backs it up that he's better here than his teammates.
Perfect. All right, now we get to one that's interesting. I feel like Byron's getting a little bit of his juice back. Elliott seems to be like, the safe type of play. Larson is going to break this winless streak sometime soon. Where are we going, Phil? I'm going to let you lead this one off. HMS Chevy team, what do you got?
Yeah, this was a tough one for me. Honestly, kind of just decided who I was going to go with here. I had two people written down, and I'm going to go with Kyle Larson. The kicker for me is he's just better at Nashville. 6.3 average finish at Nashville. Got just about the same drive rating as Chase. 12.2 average running position, but he's going to be going out a lot later. Byron still has a lot to prove for me as far as winning this group, but compared to someone like Elliott, I would imagine that Larson's going to have a better starting position and set himself up for success because of the qualifying order, if weather allows for that, or if weather does come, then definitely. So his numbers, though, I was skeptical, maybe thinking about going with like a Byron because Byron's strong on these comps that I had written down, but I just got to go with the big dog. I feel like Larson has those times where I'm like, oh, he's hit or miss. I don't feel that. I think he's a little bit better, on this umbrella of the Nashville and the comp. So we're going to go with Larson and hold my breath.
Absolutely love it. That was my pick all day. And I love how you hit on the point because it's a you thing. Like, you don't take Kyle Larson where he can't finish. Well, there's only one guy in the Cup Series who's got a top 10 finish in all 4 Nashville Gen 7 races, Kyle Larson. So he is the one getting the finishes. So, and that's last year too, where he started 28th or something like that. He got into we had to slam on the brakes, I think, or something at one point, and then I think he had a loose wheel or something and had to pit again, and then still fought his way back for a top 10. So, this average running position type thing for those Gen 7 races, still good for him, and it's a little thrown off by that one race, where in the other ones, he's just always up in the top 10 the whole time. And then, like you said, gets to go out late in qualifying. So, yeah, I expect him to qualify up front and be up front. And when we're looking at these HMS guys, I mean, Elliott has gotten out front in a couple of these races and made it happen, but typically when you're talking about the guys who are running up there all day, it's Larson. Even if he doesn't have race-winning speed in those races, it's still him up there making it more annoying for the guys who do have the race-winning speed. So give me Kyle Larson here. Tino, what do you got?
I'm laughing at this comment by Brian and all the ones above it, which I'll get to, but he's saying HMS began their summer slump at Daytona, and it's definitely true. Kyle agreeing that they stink right now. And Robert, I agree with you right here because I have zero confidence in my HMS reads too. Like I thought Byron would be the play for Charlotte. Now ended up having a better finishing result than he deserved. But to me, it's just like if he was going to have a track to put himself back on track, it would have been last weekend at the 600. But Larson having that much more success than everyone else is a little jarring to me. Now, I am going to pivot here. I could easily go with Larson as well, make it a clean sweep, which I feel like it probably should be with him being the second best right now in terms of average finish at this track in the last three. I'm going to go with Byron in this one. The reason being is at Dover, finished 7th, which can't believe I'm saying that's a good thing for a Hendrick Motorsports car, but the last concrete track to see some sort of success at, and then obviously, like I said, at the 600, didn't have speed, but got a top 10 result. I think maybe if you start notching together finishes like that, it can help him. And I was, well, shout out to him because he did mention this in the chat earlier before I said it. He is on the 24 this week to be the top Chevy, I believe. So I'll do a little pivot.
Yeah, Iowa DM'd me last night, and I know he's on Byron. He's loving Byron. And I honestly, like, to me, Byron last week, different package, I know, different race altogether, but he was similar to Suarez. Like, but Suarez didn't have the damage. Like, Byron's car was messed up. They eventually got it right, and then he eventually gets on the lead lap, and then he starts making some passes once they got that thing right. So, like, yes, it was a finish that seemed kind of out of the ordinary there, and he needed some cautions to do it, yeah. But once he was on that lead lap, he was gaining ground. So I don't know. Maybe they are finding something. And then we've talked about it with Byron before. There's like this thing where they're way down, but then it was a couple tracks ago where like Byron's average finish was like 4th best or something. So even though he's not up there leading laps and dominating like we've seen in recent years, he's still finding a way to get to finishes. So I don't know. I do like, and proved that again last week. Found a way to get to finish. And that's what we're doing here, earning these points. So, yeah, I don't know. I love the Byron one. He goes out pretty late, too. So, he could qualify well.
I'll just add, I'm trying to set the bar like a little bit lower for Byron to hit so then he can gain momentum for me personally. And the way I'm doing it this week is they have him against Ross Chastain on the score. And I smashed that I call that on the podcast. If you want to hear me break that down in detail, give that a look. But I think, that's a total mismatch. I think Byron, we think of things as negative for him because we expected him to be here. Mm-hmm. And he
was the first pick in the draft.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's been a disappointment, but when he's thrown up against total disappointments like Ross Chastain, you got to smash that. So yeah. If you
our first round is a disappointment, fellas. Our first round was Byron, Larson, Bell. I think we've cursed them all. We just destroyed them before the season even started.
100%.
We'll have to remember that next year. Maybe we switch up our round 1 strategy. We'll talk about who we don't want to do well.
Cody Ware, first pick.
All right, let's go to JGR here. And this team, I feel like I'm saying it a lot lately, but you get to this team, and it's like if you guys are going to pick any 4 of these guys, I'm not surprised at all. And I'm sure we could name a billion stats about why. I'll go first here because I'm not going to pivot, and I'm just sticking with what I think is the layup here, and that's Denny Hamlin. There's not much more to say about Denny anymore. I mean, the last time we saw him on a concrete track, the All-Star race, he just beat the shit out of everybody. And he has crazy runs at Nashville too. Like over 75% of his laps are inside the top 5 in those races. I mean, it's just insane. He's up front all day. And what's crazy too is he's over 75% of his laps ran inside the top 5 at Nashville. And the next best guy isn't even above 50% of his laps inside the top 5. So he's just awesome here. So, and then this season too. I mean, just insane. Only him and Blaney have multiple top 3 finishes at the Gen 7 Nashville races. Give me Denny. So Denny here. Phil, I'll kick it to you. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm taking Denny as well. It's I've been riding the Denny top 5 bet. It's been a wave that I'm gonna keep doing it until it crashes. And Nashville looks as if that is going to continue. I mean, 124.2 driver rating in Nashville, the next gen car. That's almost 20 points better than the next. And then you kind of touched on the same similar vibe with your top, running top 10, I believe it was. But his average running position is 3.8. 3.8. I can't not take a guy who historically is going to run in the top 3. And the next best guy is 3 times that number. So it's just wild how good he is at this track. And he mentioned, the concrete vibe at Dover. It's too good to pass up.
Yeah, absolutely. But we do leave the door open for someone to pass it up. Tino, what are you thinking?
Not this time around. Not gonna do any Denny Schmennies. Gonna go straight for it here. Brian put it out in a great way. You have to have Hamlin on your card weekly. It's Larson 2021 all over again. That's how I feel. Like I feel like this could be a pivotal moment to where in the past, specifically with someone like Ryan Blaney, where it's like, oh, he's right there, and then I pivot, and then he wins that weekend. Like Denny has been winning, but this is a situation where I feel like, oh, maybe it could be Briscoe, and I do think Briscoe's got a shot here. Concrete, I think he's very strong there. Other drivers we were alluding to, but all of that to where Denny has a 3.7 average starting position in the last 3 here, 230 laps led, 2 top 5s, like I said, all within the last 3. He's the best driver at this track, statistically, and he's the best driver probably on the circuit right now, aside from Tyler Reddick. So to me, it's Denny. And the other thing I want to note, and especially I think it's a perfect segue as we move on to this next team, who last year started out early with strategy, took 2 tires over everyone's 4, and held the lead. Now, this is to your point, Ryan, of we don't know how the tire is going to react because we haven't seen it tested at all. So, but if it doesn't react, in which we've seen instances before of things just not really working when they try to fix it or change it, you couldn't pass. It was very hard to pass here. So I feel like when you take 2 tires compared to everyone else's 4, like we saw Penske do last year, who do I want that's going to start up front when it's harder to pass? That's Denny Hamlin or anyone else who's going to be up there, when it's just hard to pass.
Perfect. I'm gonna stick with you here, Tino, because we're gonna head to a Ford team in Penske, and I don't know if McBrien's in here or not, but I do think this is a week where all 3 Penske's could be strong, even their affiliate car. So, what do you got here for Penske? Are you sticking with the chalk, or are you going a little different with some logs?
I am going to be taking Ryan Blaney. If I didn't feel happy about that or doing so this weekend, this comment makes me feel even better than I did before. And the comments ready to add Phil's shirt. The Blaney shirt is back. Time to double down on the 12. Love Logano in terms of being, an option. So it's cool to see that. But it's YRB week. Tell your friends. It's just a moment to where I wrote down what is on Win the Race and what Phil said. I'm going to read it off. Iowa, Blaney's won there. New Hampshire, Blaney's won there. Gateway, Blaney was going to win there until he ran out of fuel in the last lap. Phoenix, Blaney's best track. And then now here in Nashville, he won here last year. To me, every one of the comp tracks Blaney has won at. Then you factor in any potential, action happening with the tire, give me Blaney too. So this is a Ryan Blaney week. Maybe I should have went bonus with him, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that, as you guys will see. Sorry, Sean McBrien.
All good. I mean, Phil, I just kick it to you. I mean, I think people see the shirt by now. Are we going Ryan Blaney here? You mentioned, the top 5 machine in tracks in the 750 horsepower package this year, Blaney's finished 1, 2, 3, 6. So I don't know, man. And in the race he finished sixth, he ran over half his laps inside the top 5. So probably should have been in top 5. But all right, what do we got here, Phil?
Yeah. This is where we get into a little bit of a strategy with the draft because I'm taking Joey Logano. And
Nice.
you can kind of see the writing on the wall for later. We'll just reiterate all those beautiful stats that you guys just ripped off. But the thing is, if there is a track on the schedule right now where the 22 could have some life, and we'll talk about the pit crew later. But if there's any track where the pit crew could show a little bit of life, I truly believe that it will be this one. Logano's numbers at Nashville, he's got a 9th, a 1st, a 4th. So he's very much in the mix here in the next gen car. So this is almost like dire straits. They need to step up. They're probably like 7th in qualifying order, around that, maybe 8th. So they have potential to, they're not behind the 8 ball. You look at the track that we've been to this year that when the race calls a comp, it's Phoenix. It's on the lower side of what the comps are, but we raced here once this year. He won the pole, Logano. So there is a world where, and me doing this, you know why I'm doing it, but there's a world where he could finish top 10. And I think if he finishes top 10, I am in good shape because I have faith in my bonus pick that we'll get to. So yeah, I'm a little different here twice with Bubba and now Logano, but I'm feeling good. I need to kind of rock the boat a little bit.
Well, my brother, you're only different one time with me because I had Logano all day here. So this is my plan all day as well. I have Logano winner 30-1. I just put live in the Discord while you're talking, plus 105 top 10 on Caesars. You can find it plus 110 other places that I'm not allowed to bet. But again, though, the Ryan Blaney minus 105 is the best I can get. People can get it better other places I'm not allowed to bet, but I took minus 105 top 5 for Ryan Blaney. So I'm riding both these guys this week. My only bets to win right now: Blaney 7-1, Logano 30-1. I don't think you can find better than Logano 30-1 now, but I think you can find better than Blaney 7-1 right now, probably a 750 out there. So I don't know. Go get it. That's where I'm at. I think it's a Blaney week, and I'm going to try to cover these bets with his top 5 and cover the Logano bet with his top 10, and that gives me a little more play later to maybe put some outrights on some Toyotas after we see some practice and qualifying. So give me Joey Logano here. I am all about Logano this week, and we'll sticking with the Ford team. That's the order of everything here, and this is a cool one. In doing the research and prep or whatever you want to call it for this, RFK was kind of really cool to look at in the 750 horsepower packages this year. Those races, their average finish is like 11, 11.5, and 13.5. Like as we always say, we always see them just kind of always there running together at the end of the race. Doesn't really matter where they qualify. They qualify like all different than one another, but by the end of the race, they're all right there. I'll do my pick first here because I think this might be a pivot, but I'm loving Ryan Preece this week. So I love Ryan Preece at Nashville. I mean, when they first came here in the trucks, he absolutely beat the shit out of everybody in both races. Then you come back, I think the next year, or maybe it was the second time he won the truck race, races the O'Reilly race too, in a BJ McLeod car, starts like 20-something, beats everyone, finishes 6th in a car that should not be doing that. So I think he's very comfortable here. Then you look at, he comes to Cup with Stuart Haas, drives home a top 20 in his first Cup year. Comes back the next year and whatever, that was the stuff with all that wild ass stuff happening, finishes 4th, so finds a way. And we always say that about the RFK guys, finding ways to get finishes. Last year, nowhere to be found. But that was in this package, and I think like RFK a lot last year was like testing things or something. Like they were just sometimes you get to a place and they would just be so far off. This year, not like that. Like these guys are fast, and like I said, in this package in particular, Average finish of 11, 11.5, and 13.75. Ryan Preece has not finished worse than 13th in any of those races. So give me the consistency here, and I think he has a little bit of upside for a top 10. Give me Ryan Preece. Tino, I'm going to kick it to you.
Well, I don't even have to say anything because you said it for me. Ryan Preece, that's my pick. Love everything about him. Anytime I pick Brad Keselowski, it doesn't work. And Busher could be a play, but I like Preece just a little bit more.
Oh, yeah. Phil, what do you got?
I'll go with Chris Busher. To me, he's, riding steady, old faithful kind of deal. It's not even like I have anything spectacular to rip off in stats. I mean, he's 3 for 4, finishing top 20 at Nashville. That's, it's okay. But and even in the comp tracks that I'm looking at, like he's nothing special. But on the comps that I'm specifically looking at, like neither are his teammates. I know you were looking a little bit different than I was, and I see some Priest numbers here jumping out at me since you said that. But Busher's right there with him on the same tracks. The last 5 comps, 15.4 average finish, 1 top 10, 3 top 15s, 4 for 5 top 20. So yeah, I mean this I believe they're going to be running around each other. It's going to be negligible, the difference, if things play out as the metrics would show. So I'll be different and go with Busher because I think that Busher, like I said, he's old faithful and he always has a chance to kind of shock you more so than the other guys.
Yeah. I think like Busher and Keselowski maybe for the raw upside and Preece for like the safety of maybe, sticking around that 10th to 13th place.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, if someone's up there running top 5, you don't necessarily think it's going to be Preece. We've seen Keselowski do it. We've seen Busher do it. So yeah.
Brad's so hit or miss. He's like second and then like 30th. Like he's not my guy on this one.
No, my guys would have been Busher if I had not been Priest. So cool, you went there. Same page. What's funny is that though, if you do look in this package this year with those average finishes that I mentioned, we could have all taken all 3 guys, and we're probably still within like 2 or 3 points of each other at the end of the race. So
yeah,
just kind of funny how they run. All right. So speaking of a higher upside pick, we got the winner from last week on Spire. We've got Carson Hocevar, who obviously has some upside. And then we have Michael McDowell, who has upside on a few road courses, and that's about it nowadays. So I think we're between probably 2 guys here. Phil, I'm going to let you lead this one off. What do you got for Spire?
Happy to lead this one off. I was all over it. I'm going with Hocevar. I could honestly see Hocevar winning this race. Looking at this here, so I took Chevy as a manufacturer play as defense to Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney. Those were my outright plays this week. And one of the reasons why, I was getting decent odds for Chevy. But I really think that Hocevar is like a sneaky guy here. 9.0 average finish. I mean, he's holding his own on the Nashville metrics and the last 5 comps. He's 7th in average finish in the last 5 comps, which is like apples to apples with the new, not going back far like the Nashville stats. 9th in driver rating, 8th in average running position. It to me, Hocevar is well above his teammates here at this style of track, at this particular track, and I think is a long shot threat to kind of sneak in and steal one. So Hocevar is my guy here.
Absolutely love it. You said everything I was going to say. Hocevar, I am not surprised if I see him, gunning for that lead late in the race here. You look at the guys who have done well here. It's like the Blaneys, like the long run guys who, like, at the end of the race, you're like, holy shit, look at them just passing everybody here. I feel like Hocevar is kind of turning into that guy. We've seen it, multiple times this year already. So on multiple different track types too, which is interesting. He's done it drafting. He's done it on Darlington. He's done it like all these random places that are nothing like one another. So he was wicked strong at Bristol too, another concrete track. Again, maybe not necessarily like Nashville, but concrete, a different unique track type. He just shows up and he's crazy fast. So yeah, give me Hocevar here. One thing I will mention, last week, if you wanted a piece of Hocevar, And this is why I always do this. Like I've won Trackhouse bets. I won the Spire bet at Talladega, all this stuff. Last week when they reopened, Hocevar is like 12-1. Spire was 14-1. Books do that. It makes no sense at all, but always check the teams. You would have won last week. Your Hocevar bet would have lost, but you would have still won because you took Spire at a better number. So just always check the winning team bets too before you go place a number on any guy who's like less than 15-1. Just see if it's any better, and maybe you have some NASCAR luck on your side, and you hit it home if one of the other guys get lucky. So I don't know. That seems pretty obvious. Take more guys for a better number, but just not everyone checks. I don't think so. Check that out. Tino, what do you got here for Spire?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Iowa said it very well here. Checks to see where Hocevar finished in this race last year. Oh yeah, second. But it was an second to Ryan Blaney, who's probably the best right now at these types of racetracks and in this package. Who finished better than it was Blaney, Hocevar, Hamlin, Logano, Byron. Like to me, and this is last year's Hocevar. He's obviously better. And they obviously have more speed as well. So it's like I remember watching that last year. Now that we talked about it and we mentioned it, like, it was like, that was one of the moments to where you watched and said, oh, wow, Hocevar has some talent. And obviously now he's getting the results he deserves too. So love the play by Phil too. I mean, Bell, Blaney, Hocevar / Chevy, like that's a recipe for success.
Yeah, hell yeah. That's what. So like, I love following the track types in our track comparison. It's worked great this whole year. But then, like Phil said, when you get here, you look at it, and it's like, we haven't been to any of these places yet. It's like, what do we do? So then my pivot was, okay, well, if NASCAR is willing to bring the same package here, then they've got to see some similarity in it, whether that's just size based or whatever it is. Then I'll just go off what I've seen this year. So that's why I kind of keep mentioning it, even though those 4 tracks aren't necessarily like this. They're running the same package. I don't know. We got to go off something, and that's the most recent thing we've seen. So if that sounded weird to anyone, that's kind of why I've been doing that. I'm not necessarily going against what we have. We just haven't been there yet. All right, let's move to Trackhouse here. Very interesting team that we did mention earlier. Mentioned the Dover speed of Connor Zillage. Chastain, I think he was fast, in that race too, running up front for the first part of it. And then SVG last week, different package last week, but still, I mean, this team is just flashing some speed lately. What do we think? Tino, I'm going to let you lead it off here. What do you got for Trackhouse?
Well, I've said to you guys before, moments to where I feel like this is where you win the draft. This is how you draft. This may not be how you draft. I'm going to go Connor Zillage. Nice. Everything is Ross Chastain this week. I'm aware. I'm seeing the look on Phil's face, the shockness of it, and I just assume that's because it's a Chastain move. He just any place he should have been strong this year, he hasn't. I'll give him Dover up there, but still not getting in the finishing where Zillage looks very strong on the long runs. Like that's not something that we've seen at Chastain at all this season. To me, it's hard. It's hard to talk about some guy that doesn't have stats at this track. But if you wanted to look at the concrete like Dover, that was inspiring to me. And then I would have honestly went SVG over Chastain. I mean, what has he done this year besides disappoint us? And I mean, okay, Mike May said Ross would have been okay at Charlotte. Then Ricky happened. Fine. But also, Ricky was outperforming Ross all day. Like, that's kind of my point, is like, that's a car. And shout out Ricky for having a great run. But him and SVG are guys that Chastain should be beating. I don't really care at this point if it's like, oh, one guy's faster than the other. I think Trackhouse is just behind, and Ross is just not catching up compared to his teammates.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go next year, and I'll leave it up to Phil here to round it out. I'm SVG here. I love, he's going to go out later in qualifying. We've seen his qualifying improve, since his time in the Cup Series. But just look at the 750 horsepower races this year. All different track types. Phoenix, Darlington, Martinsville, 11th, 14th, 11th. And those are true finishes. He's not lucking into these things. Bristol, he was given a complete dud car. Couldn't even handle for shit. And then he ends up wrecking out of that race. I guess that's the problem with Trackhouse is like, every week, it seems one guy gets the absolute dud car. It's not like RFK we were talking about where they're all finishing together, unless it's in the back this year. But it seems like one guy will get pretty good ride. The other guy's like a little bit behind that, and then the other guy is just left behind. Who's going to get the fast one this week? I don't know. But I do like SVG, I believe. I'll try to pull it up here, but I believe SVG is going out late after his run last week. Yeah, he's going out in, I think, the last 10 guys here. So maybe he can, qualify well. And he's to the point now where if he does qualify well, I'm confident he can maintain it. Whereas like Chastain nowadays, we've been talking about it all year. Like this, we're on fade Chastain. And I think, Phil, I think you took the head-to-head against Chastain. We talked about it earlier. I forget who that was now. Also don't know what happened to my site there, but all right. That's how I'm taking SPG.
You just mentioned Chastain. It makes you crash. I mean, that's just what it looks like.
I said his name and now I'm done.
Yeah. I am sick about this, guys. Sick about this because I took Byron over Chastain is what I said. I thought for sure I was going to be in a position. I was eyeing up both of those guys. I was trying to make a case for myself to make. If you guys both took Chastain, I was going to take a shot. I mean, Zilich looked great. Finished second at Nashville last year in Xfinity or whatever, O'Reilly, and all the cases he made for SVG. I am now forced into taking Ross Chastain. I have to. I mean, I don't like this at all, but maybe this is, where I can win the race, or win the draft. His Nashville numbers, I mean, he's second in driver rating, second in average running position. He's won here. You know the stuff. It's just I don't like it. It should be good. And so you can kind of use my roster as a way to be like, hey, a lot of these guys, like, they have to perform here. It's like a way to keep track of, okay, well, who, you're looking at Logano, big race for them, need to perform. Chastain, this is a track where he's had success, need to perform. So yeah, I don't like it, and fully planned on taking one of the other two, but I'll take Chastain and hope that he can right the ship a little bit at a track where he's had a lot of success. So that's it is what it is.
Right. Perfect. I love how that worked out because I honestly don't know. We don't know what car is going to show up and be fast. I think one of them can be. I think one can show up as faster than we all expect, but we'll wait and see on Saturday and see what happens.
I think it's just like a whole nother level when Ross should be the number one guy. Like, and then Phil throws out these stats, and it's like that was his stats, like similar to Dover and Charlotte, and like still no. And this is a guy that has a rookie on his team, and then SVG, who is essentially still kind of rookie, right? Like, it's just so mind-boggling to me how consistently inconsistent the one car has been.
He's the mellow man.
There we go.
The mellow man
yeah,
to the mellow man. All right. Bonus pick time. And this couldn't have really worked out better because Phil and I actually landed on the same strategy here, unless Phil's going to pivot now. But I'm going to be Ryan Blaney all day long here. Phil, are you sticking with Blaney? Can I write him going across there?
Absolutely. Ryan Blaney. The shirt is out. It's either him or me. One of these guys, maybe both. Maybe we both win. I fully believe Ryan Blaney will be fighting for the win and a very possible win for him this weekend. So I needed to have him in my bonus, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, Blaney, for all those stats that you said, and the pit crew conversation. This is need to run the pit crew pep talk short back this week. I mean, the pit crew. I saw, now we're starting to see like other guys talking about it in a way. Like I saw Kyle Petty saying, wipe out the whole damn crew, like start fresh. Like now you're starting to see like bigger talking heads in the NASCAR world, not just like on the broadcast talking about, the pit crew's been bad. They're saying like, wipe it all out. Do it. I don't see how your Penske, the other two cars stink. This is your guy. This is your championship hopeful. Give them the best chance to win every single week. So I think do it. It's Wednesday. You got plenty of time. Wipe it out and start fresh. But if they screw this up, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine being there on Monday morning at that shop. I might have to fly down there and just whip some ass if they can't figure it out. So yeah, Ryan Blaney, he's my pick, and we'll see you in victory lane.
They got to get our
thing-
guy Zachary out there. He said he's willing to go change tires for Blaney. His words, I'm fat, out of shape, and 50 years old, but I think I can do better.
You're
Honestly,
hired.
dude. Yeah.
That's awesome. I wanted to mention about his teammate too, because we were talking Logano up earlier. If the tires do matter, I mean, we're gonna have 4 tire stops regardless, but our scores on Win the Race have it Bell, Gibbs, Hamlin, Joey Logano. So quick crew. If there's going to be a lot of stops, we'll talk about the other side of this and one pit crew for Penske that could, gain some spots here and some track position would be Logano's. The other one too, I noticed was like 11th, like right behind Reddick, SVG. That one shocked me a little bit. So just fast pit stops all year in the races we're tracking 4 tire stops. So, all right, cool. Yeah. So the ultimate spot for Tino to make some noise. You've already selected Ryan Blaney. There are many, many options here. I just threw out a couple JGR guys that no one's taken yet. So what do you got here, Tino? You shocking the world or what?
Wait, could you read that? What was that list you read again? Could you just read it? Run that back.
Christopher Bell, Ty Gibbs, Denny Hamlin.
Yeah. He's number 1 on the list for a reason. Give me Christopher Bell. I can hear the bells ringing extra loud this weekend. Perfect spot for me. Kind of a dunk after last weekend where I didn't get Bell in my bonus. Now he's here for the taking. Look, I'm rooting for Logs, but he's not going to deliver in the same way. We just talked about Ryan Blaney going for the win, and I like the bonus. I think that's a good, smart play, you guys. But who's he going to be fighting against? It's going to be Christopher Bell. This is a Phoenix rematch, in my opinion. And who got the short end of the stick in that one? It was Bell. And I think he just dominates this one. Maybe not dominates, but definitely gets what he deserves because of how close they've been. Charlotte could have won that race. Doesn't get to see the finish. Dover ultimately does go their way. But so many times the 20 car has been up there. You look at the Sims. It's Denny, Reddick, Blaney, Bell. My lineup's got all of them. Let's go. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't be more happy with where I netted out here. So I am very locked and loaded. Christopher Bell, I think he gets it done this weekend.
I love it. The only other way I would have went is leaving Logano out, putting Blaney up there, and then throwing Bell in for JGR and Hamlin at bonus. That was the other build I had. So curious to see how that shakes out. But yeah, dude, you're like, who won that battle at Phoenix or who got the short end of the stick? Bell's been getting the short end of the stick all year. When he's fastest, like 3 weeks ago or whatever, Todd Gilliland takes him out of nowhere. Then last week he's fastest. Can't get it done because of the stupid rain. It's like, man, this guy is due. So I absolutely love that pick in the bonus spot this week. The most scared I've been entering a weekend with this draft board, having people, like SVG in there, Priest in there, no Christopher Bell, like not a lot of safety in there. Go Kyle Larson, like, I don't know. A lot could go wrong, but we'll see. We mentioned all the good points about Larson finishing here, so hopefully that means he's due for some of the same. But great draft board, though. I had a feeling we'd be, different no matter what. Even when Phil and I had that Logano Blaney thing, we're still different throughout here. So should be a pretty fun week. And I mentioned too, I like both 23-11 guys. Like I don't like not having any Bubba, but it is what it is with these limited rosters that we have. Tino, you got anything else to say about tonight's draft? We'll do one quick wrap up here and then we can get out of here.
Honestly, I'm looking forward to the race. The biggest kind of factor I think that will be the tires. If that has an impact, right? Like you said, we didn't get to see it tested or used at all before this. I don't like that, but that's a kind of a typical thing that we see. And if we're going to stick with things that have happened or not happened in the past, it is the tires. Like, they have not really made a difference. Well, I shouldn't say that. They're getting better and improving a lot, but I just feel like anytime we make a deal of it, it just ends up not being a big deal. So we'll see if that is the case this weekend.
Yeah, I'm hoping so they bring this tire that's been wearing pretty well on the 1.5s with the lower horsepower. And now you got a track that's a little shorter. So you'd be a little, I don't know, like with the extra horsepower, like, is that going to make it wear more going into these turns? That's my hope, is that, yes, like a little extra horsepower, shorter track, maybe it does wear the tires a little more, which would be nice. Even if it wears them just a little faster than we see in the intermediates, I think we'll be in good shape. Phil, you got any final thoughts about our draft board here? Anything you're worried about or absolutely love?
No, I think Tino's team is definitely the strongest on paper. I think, with a purpose, I'm putting myself out there with picks like Bubba and Logano. So we'll see. I think Trackhouse, honestly, in my heart of hearts, I feel like I could steal some points there and need Blaney to win the race. So I think Tino's on paper looks great. I think, Ryan, you called out the other strategy that I was going to do as well, which was make Denny your bonus. So, it's up for grabs. The shots that I'm taking, I need my guys to perform, and we'll see. But it makes the race fun to watch, and excited for Sunday night race.
Sunday night race going to be a lot of fun. Tino, why don't you let everyone know where they can find all your great content this weekend heading into the race?
Yes, sir. Well, before I do that, Sean McBride wished me a happy birthday. Appreciate that. It was my birthday yesterday, but not just me, Phil as well, and not just him, Ryan's anniversary too. So, I mean,
it's a big day.
Thing. We're all celebrating over here, the Draft Brothers, and you guys can follow me at Tino, PATTIGNO, all across social media. Listen to me on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90, Tubi TV, the NASCAR app as well. That'll be Friday morning. We were back with Best Bets. Did not do them last week, but looking forward to getting back to that this weekend, and anything else that we may come across, I'll let you guys know on social. But appreciate everyone in the chat, especially now. Appreciate the celebrations and the happy birthdays. It means a lot to us. But all throughout the show, I mean, great comments, funny stuff, whether it was like making fun of the pit crews or having some good takes out there. I want to shout everyone out, but it'll take me an hour to do so. So I will try harder next time. But appreciate everyone in the chat.
Yeah, shout out to you guys, because like I mentioned to you guys in our text feed, I was like, man, like we started this show, it's been fun, like didn't know what to expect really. And then from one Coke Zero to next year's Coke Zero, there's like 6 times, you guys listening to the show and interacting and doing everything, that we enjoy doing. And you make it so much fun for us. So thank you. And just kind of it's really awesome to see, people enjoying this and playing along with us. So thank you guys very much. Phil, I'm going to be listening to your show tomorrow, Cup show. And then you got trucks coming out.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get a truck episode out on YouTube. Trucks continue to be a struggle, but we have fun doing it. But yeah, Full Tank with Phil podcast, that is out now, and kind of talked a little bit about the strategy for that episode, but give it a look, break that down even further, and yeah, try to get a truck episode out probably this time tomorrow night if I can, in and around this time. And yeah, just echoing a little bit of what you were just saying, like, appreciate everyone here. I mean, kind of going back to what we were saying about the beginning of the episode with the whole Kyle Busch conversation, like, I appreciate all you guys. Ryan for starting the show, and Tino for doing it along with us here, but everyone in the chat, everyone that we become like friends with. I mean, I don't even like know most of the people in the chat, but I know them. And honestly, this show picks me up a lot of the time during the week where, if things aren't going well. So that is because of everyone here. So thank you all. And hopefully we have a much better week from the last time we signed off, in the NASCAR world. And hopefully we all win some money.
Yeah, it's a great community, like you said. I know I think Brian Twining was in Greg's neck of the woods like a week ago or so, and they finally got to meet, face to face, went out and grabbed some lunch or something. So it's just cool to kind of get to meet everyone, that we're interacting with. And speaking of that, next week, I believe my son has a concert. So I do apologize, guys, but it'll be my first show missed of the season. But Brian, who is diehard Michigan, will be filling in for me as your host next week. So couldn't ask for anyone better than Brian to do that. Going to be an awesome show, and it'll be super weird because I'm gonna wake up and like I'm gonna be dying to listen to it. I'll probably listen to it when like late Wednesday night. So it'll be cool. But yeah, looking forward to that. Wintherace.info for all your data needs. Go check it out. DFS betting. If you want to just kick it in the Discord with everybody, we talk shop all week long about everything NASCAR. So hope to see you guys in there. If you ever, want to check it out, or the prices are discounted now monthly or year, the rest of the year. So whatever. But if you have any questions, just shoot me an email, shoot me a DM. We're always available. Hope to see you guys in there. Good luck this weekend. Sunday night race. Have a lot of fun. Try to win some truck money, some O'Reilly money, and some cup money, and have a ball doing it. So love you guys. Have a good night. Good luck. We'll see you next week.